Hello and welcome to another video. This video is going to be looking at 5 CO03 1.2, which is your question on business ethics. For question 1.2, there are some similarities with the 5 HRF, which was the unit that I did, which was similar. However, the wording of the questions are very different here. So what I'll do is I'll touch about what I was asked to do in reference to the question that you're asked to do, and then I can tell you how I answered it, and you can pick out the bits that you need that are relevant to your question. So first of all, I was asked to evaluate the business case for managing HR in a professional, ethical and just manner. Noting in my question I was asked to differentiate between the three of professional, ethical and just, whereas in your question it's not asking you to do that, although to add weight and understanding to your answer you may want to as well. There's a lot of crossover between them, but there are differences there as well. And also note that the command verb here is to evaluate, whereas in the new criteria you are asked to recognise how personal and ethical values can be applied in the context of people practice. So your question is looking at the personal element as well as the business element, and how they kind of marry up. As you can see, both concerned with ethics, but very different questions. So as with your answer to 1.1, I would strongly recommend that you will reference the CIPD Code of Conduct and the CIPD Profession Map again. A key cornerstone of the Code of Conduct document is that there's a commitment there to ethical standards and integrity. That's one of the 4 key principles, so it's important that you get that in. And also the CIPD Profession Map has ethical practice viewed as a core behaviour for people of all levels working within the people profession. So it's really important that you get those in there, and these resources will really help aid your understanding of ethics and how it applies in a business context. So looking at a definition, a good way to start is the CIPD. So the CIPD defines ethical practice as the application of ethical values in organisational behaviour, and this applies to all aspects of organisational conduct, including governance, the transactions with all stakeholders and suppliers, and its commitment to the wider society as well. Simply put, ethics is concerned with acting appropriately, or doing the right thing, really. If you wanted to use business examples, certainly recent ones as well, of businesses working ethically or unethically, then when the coronavirus first hit and before the furlough scheme came out, there was lots of reports. I think JD Wetherspoon's was one. There was some big hotel chains of them just simply getting rid of staff before the dust had time to settle and there was support in place. So those were viewed to be really poor people practices. So you might want to use relevant examples there as well. But like I say, it's really concerned with doing the right thing. A good definition I found was Armstrong, 2006. He highlights that HR professionals should be focused on 3 ethical considerations: their conduct, the values that govern their behaviour, and the ethical standards of their firms. Note how this definition has both a personal and an organisational context to it. And what we can see from the Armstrong definition is that it's HR's responsibility to not just hold themselves to account, but to also ensure the wider values, behaviours and actions of the business align directly with the stated ethical considerations. Again, notice that word stated. Often we find that businesses have got practices, policies, ethics statements in place of what they say they do, but it's one thing saying that and another thing actually carrying it out in practice, and the CIPD refer to this as a say-do gap. And what they argue is that a say-do gap amongst leaders can create mistrust amongst employees and stakeholders if the people within the business fail to act as they say they do. And I think we can all agree that we've worked in businesses where leaders potentially say one thing and do another, and we all know how that kind of makes us feel and the impact that has on our motivations. Therefore, really, HR's role is critical in ensuring that the creation of and alignment with ethical practices across the business. And a key thing to note really with that is that the creation of and the alignment with, but also is that they remain under constant review. HR's role is to ensure that they are being upheld, but to also gather feedback, review and update policies and practices as it's going. It should be a constantly moving piece rather than it be pushing out some practices and then assuming that everybody's going to get on with it. So it's really key for HR to do that and to make sure that they are followed, reviewed and upheld. There are many case studies where poor ethical practices seriously damaged a company's reputation and performance, and as I mentioned earlier, some examples. However, on the other side of this, good, strong ethical practices can be seen as delivering competitive advantage and improving business performance as well. The CIPD explains, this is through research carried out by the Institute of Business Ethics, again another good source there, that ethical companies outperform their peers financially in the long term. Therefore, it really does pay to be ethical. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you can use it in your studies. Please remember to like, subscribe, and please do comment. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Bye-bye.